PT Core candidates have been saying this for a long time, and now I almost believe it. Reading and writing for the PT Core exam are the two hardest modules. In this video, we'll talk about reading. And right here on your screen, this is the reason why people fail in PT Core reading. This task, reorder paragraphs, is the hardest task. People always lose marks here, they always struggle here, and this task alone is the reason why people are saying that reading is one of the hardest modules, if not the hardest. Now, what you see on the screen is a blog. You can see the link for this in the description. On our blog, you will see a lot more PT Core resources. In this blog alone, we have 10 PT Core. I scrolled quick because I don't want you to see the answers. 10 tasks for PT Core, each with the incorrect sequence and the correct sequence, as well as the explanation for each. So please do check it out. It is going to be highly useful for your preparation. And today we're going to diagnose how exactly do we attempt or approach this kind of task. There are easy tips and tricks. There are words that give you hints, and they give you pointers that tell you the sequence. So today I'm going to discuss that, and after this video, it's going to become super easy for you to understand. Now, on this blog, this is the first task. If you want to pause the video, please do so. Check out these 6 paragraphs and rearrange them in the right sequence. All right, try that, and by the end of this video, you will see the correct answers. Now, before we start, remember this reorder paragraphs, this task can come 2 to 3 times in your exam. So if you get the 3 tasks, you're really unlucky because this is the hardest one, and hopefully you just get 2, not more. Now you're given usually 5 to 6 paragraphs like these, and you have to arrange them in the right sequence because right now they're scattered. Okay, the first thing, guys, you got to do is look at the first few lines, first few words, and we have to save this strategy because we have to save time. If you really start reading everything, you will first of all forget everything, and secondly, you don't have that much time. Read the first few things, and right away what you want to do is start to eliminate the options that are continuous. For example, when I see the word upon entering, I know this is a continuation of something. Obviously, some person described a place and then later said, well, then upon entering, this is what happened. So this is almost a second or third sentence. It's part of the story, not at the start. It's not like an intro. It's not beginning the story. And unfortunately, you are unlucky in PT Core reading because they don't very clearly indicate, like if they said once upon a time or 2 days ago or something, you would know clearly that's the start, but you got to figure it out. It's really hidden, but at least the continuation, this is obviously a continuation, so it's not gonna be the first sentence. The old bookstore stood at the corner of the street. This looks like the start. It looks like the intro, and usually your intros are like that. So it's talking about a bookstore, and then if I just skim through the rest, because I don't want to read everything, I can see that it's defining the bookstore more. So this could be an intro. It does not look like a continuation. With a contented sigh, I settled. So he's sighing, and that usually happens after a bunch of events. This wouldn't be the start. The shelves were. Well, if you have a bookstore, you would first talk about the bookstore, then the shelves. So this would still not be the start. You would first talk about entering the bookstore. So I'm still leaning towards option 2 as the first sentence. Then it says, as I wandered. This is obviously second, third, fourth sentences because this is as you are doing a process. So it's not the introduction. Now look at this one. In a cozy nook near the back of the store, I found a comfortable armchair. So this is also, it's very close to an intro, but we have this one that defines a bookstore, and this is talking about what you found at the back of the bookstore. So we will still pick this option because you have to introduce the subject first, then talk about what you found inside, at the back, and so on. So still, we'll go with this one, although 6 was very close, but remember, we're starting with where the story or the scene will start. So now that we know this is our answer, let's read it, because we got to read it until the end to see if we get a clue from here. The old bookstore stood at the corner of the street, its weathered sign creaking in the wind, and its windows filled with stacks of dusty books. Okay, now we don't usually, sometimes you get an idea from the end. For example, it would say dusty books on the at the back of the store. And then you would say, okay, and now you can see the back of the store, the second sentence that continues from there. So sometimes this gives you a little bit of hint. In this case, it does not. It's just a plain description of the old bookstore. Fine. Now you got the rest of the options. So the problem now is it's going to be even harder because now you know the other sentence could be any one of these. Let's analyze, okay? And a very important word I'm going to tell you guys here is the word the, okay? The is key. And if you're bad with articles, this will be a problem because here's the thing. When I say the, it means it's something familiar. So if I show you this cell phone, this is a cell phone. I showed it to you right now. It's the first time I showed you. So I'm going to use the word a. Let me say now something about this. I'm going to say the cell phone was bought 2 years ago. Now in my second sentence, I'm using the word the, okay? So when the word the is used, the back of the store, it is already something that is familiar to you, okay? When we started with the old bookstore, we still had the word the, but it was defining the bookstore, the old bookstore. It's an introduction. But later on, when you use words the with different things, you know it's the second or third sentence because now it is familiar to you. Okay, so remember that hint too. That will also help you choose 2 over 6. Now, if we look at there's some keywords here. If you skim through, you'll be able to see it. But let me just give you a little clue here. It says in a cozy nook near the back of the store, I found look at this, a comfortable armchair. This is the first time he's talking about the armchair, so it's a comfortable armchair. And look at the word chair here again. He is settled into the chair. Second time, it is familiar. So 6 is gonna come before 3 because 3 is already talking about the chair that has been discussed before. Now let me verify this. Let's read it. In a cozy nook near the back of the store, I found a comfortable armchair bathed in soft light, the perfect spot, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it's talking about the chair and the spot, and then it says, with a contented sigh, I settled into the chair, lost of whatever. You can read it. Okay, so it perfectly goes with the flow. First he saw the chair, then with a sigh, he sat in the chair. Now, you can, of course, you know that 6 will come before 3, but it's not right away. Other things can come in between too, okay? But it looks like it should be one after the other because it is talking about the same subject, which is the chair. Again, let's go back and look at our second sentence. We have some hints now, but let's look at our second sentence. What would go likely after introducing the store? This one, as I wandered through the aisles, is too advanced. It is too far in the story. Look, we just entered the bookstore. Right away, if you start saying, as I wandered the aisles, I saw this, it is too much of a future description. You're already in the aisles, you're talking about what you're feeling, and so on. So it doesn't feel, this is now a matter of judgment, not a matter of the words and phrases you can use. So as a judge of the story, I don't feel like this is going to be the next sentence. Let's see my next best options. Upon entering. This is perfect. This is exactly what needs to go after number 2, because you saw a bookstore and then you would enter. So this would definitely be the next sentence. I'm going to go with that. If I look at the shelves were or with a contented sigh, they're again behind entering. You would enter first and then you can have all the other actions, right? Remember what I'm doing here is looking at the first few lines, right? You see me time after time. That's what I'm doing to get my hints, okay? But when I read it, I'm going to read it till the end to see if I get more clues. And again, that's how I'm arranging it. So 2 goes first, 1 goes next. Now I'm going to look at the next part. So you entered, you are getting memories of countless hours spent on the pages of a good book. Okay, lots of poetic descriptions here. Now it could be the shelves were a labyrinth because now he entered, now he's going to look around, right? So the shelves, he could define that. It could be, well, 3 is going to come after 6, the chair thing. So we're not going to look at 3. It's either the shelves or as I wandered through. Let's now analyze both because they're very close options. The shelves were a labyrinth of literary treasures, each book whispering stories of adventure, romance, and mystery waiting to be discovered. He's defining the shelves and how it looks like. Next sentence says, as I wandered through the aisles, my fingers, there we go. Okay. Shelves will go before the aisles. All right. Because you would describe the shelves first, then you would wander through them. Correct? That is the sequence. So now 4 goes before 5. Then you're left with only 6 and 3. And we already discussed 6 will go before 3. And that is your sequence. I'll show you the correct answers now. They're exactly how we discussed them. You can pause, take a screenshot, read them, see what I explained earlier. Before we finish, though, I'm going to give you one more very important clue. So have a look right now. This is the correct sequence. And again, on this blog, you have the explanation down below too. Okay, a question you should ask yourself or me in the comments, if I didn't answer this already, should be, Mr. Cheyenne, why didn't 3 and 6, why didn't they go before 4 and 5? I mean, look, 4 and 5 talk about the shelves and the aisles, but 6 and 3 talk about the chair. So how do you decide the aisles go before the chair? Why do 4 and 5 go before 6 and 3? Here's the reason. And this is why some hints are given at the end of sentences. Based on our sequence, number 3 is going to be the last sentence, right? Let's look at this. With a condensed sigh, I settled into my chair, lost in the magic of storytelling as I turned the pages and embarked on a new journey. This looks like the conclusion of a story. Okay, I embarked on a new journey, so now it's going to be another part of the story, sequel of the story. This looks like an ending to the entire conversation, while everything else looks like incomplete. There needs to be more, but because this sounds like a good ending, this chair discussion would go at the end. Okay, so guys, remember these tips and tricks, remember these secrets, how you can get clues quickly. Most of it is at the start, and especially towards the end when you're figuring out which one goes at the end. The last sentences or the last words will help you find the clues. Okay, and make sure the intro, remember, introduces something. It's not going to be a continuation of something. All right? Make sure to practice everything on this blog. There are 10 really difficult reorder paragraph tasks. And if you want even more value, more content, check out our PTE Core 15-hour self-paced course with lots of videos, description, and also mock tests, plus free assessment, and immigration guide, and so much more. So check it out. It also has the PTE Core best vocab and templates to use for your writing and speaking test. Check it out. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk soon. Take care.